Hey everyone, happy Thursday to you. This is your verse for the day, a little bit later than normal. I'm going to be reading from Matthew chapter 9 and from verse 20, and it says this. And suddenly a woman who had a flow of blood for 12 years came from behind, touched the hem of his garment, for she said to herself, if only I may touch his garment, I shall be made well. But Jesus turned around, and when he saw her, he said, be of good cheer, daughter. Your faith has made you well. And the woman was made well from that hour. There's other gospels that talk about this, and there's a bit more detail in some of the other gospels. But this one I want to highlight because this woman had been suffering her whole life, right? She'd gone through things for 12 years. She'd been suffering with this situation where she had a flow of blood. Now, blood was seen as unclean. So if you had that, it meant that you couldn't be around people, you couldn't go near the priest, you couldn't be cleaned, everything. Like, she would be disconnected from her family. And so for 12 years, she had to suffer with this. But it also meant she suffered with isolation, she suffered by being alone. She has been seeking help from doctors and people like that, and they haven't been able to sort her out. And so she ends up with one last chance. If I can just touch Jesus, even if it's just his clothes, there's a chance that I could be healed, right? And she does it. She touches the hem of the garment. Jesus, in that moment, knows that power has left him. He turns around and he's in another passage. He asks, like, who touched me? They're like, you're having a laugh. There's so many people around you. But the issue with this is that blood is bad, right? And she would have had to touch people to get to Jesus. She would have had to touch Jesus, who was a rabbi, a priest, to get healing. And what does Jesus do? Does he rebuke her? Does he get angry with her? Does he say, how dare you? No, he calls her daughter. And if you think about what is being said in this moment, she hasn't been around people for a long time. She probably hasn't heard the words daughter for a long time. And Jesus meets her right there. He doesn't call anyone else daughter in the whole of the Bible, just this one woman. And I just think it's really important that you understand that Jesus calls you by who you are, not what condition you're in, what you're facing, what you were, but who you are. So be encouraged today that you are a son or you are a daughter of the King. And that's worth celebrating.